You are listening to Chapter 1 Lesson 14 of Form 3 African History. Cameroon General Education. Narrated by Wacheseh Academy. Resistance against the French. B. The Mandinka resistance under Samori Touré. How Samori Touré resisted the French. In 1886, he negotiated and signed the Treaty of Bisandougou, which established the boundary between his empire and the French sphere of influence. Signed a treaty with the British in 1890, which enabled him to buy modern arms from Sierra Leone to counter French threats. He launched an attack on Tiba of Sikasso allied with the French. After the French conquest of Bisandougou, he moved eastward and established a new empire. He continued to resist the French using guerrilla war tactics, avoiding large battles, also adopted scorched earth policy, to make the land unbearable to the French until he was captured and deported by the French. Why he was able to resist the French for so long? The good political organization of the empire. The traditional rulers, the military, and religious leaders shared authority. His diplomacy of signing the Bisandougou Treaty with the French, which defined the sphere of influence of the French. He enjoyed support from the Mandinka people as an able ruler and organizer. Islamic solidarity against the French infidels helped prolong the resistance. He had a professional standing army of about 30,000. His professional army was well trained and equipped with modern weapons. Had ammunition craft factories producing weapons. He avoided large battles against the French and resorted to guerrilla tactics using only a few hundred of his troops at the time. He adopted the scorched earth policy, which led to the evacuation of the population and destruction of valuable things along the path of French invaders, causing French forces to starve. His Mandinka Empire was rich to fight a prolonged war. His treaty of friendship with the British in 1890 enabled him to purchase arms from Sierra Leone. How Samori was defeated. The French captured Bisandougou in 1891. Samori moved eastward and created a new empire, which lacked geographical fortifications. His second empire was attacked by the French in 1895 and the British in 1897. The French eventually captured him in 1898 and deported him to Gabon, where he died in 1900. Why Samori was defeated. His Mandinka Empire suppressed many people who regarded the French as liberators from his harsh rule. The French assisted rebellions groups against him, which weakened his central administration. Samori was unable to secure an alliance with Tiba of Sisako and Amadou of the Tukulur Empire. The French employed thousands of Africans as soldiers, carriers, spies, etc. against him. The French had more and superior professional soldiers, and assisted by some African fighters, his forces were outnumbered. The French enjoyed superiority in the quality and quantity of weapons. He suffered an attack also from the British. The French and the British encircled him. His fighters, mostly farmers, were tired of prolonged fighting. His scorched earth policy created great suffering, leading to a shortage of food. The British made it difficult for him to obtain arms from Sierra Leone after 1897.